Hey guys, a while ago I posed a challenge to my viewers to try to come up with the highest scoring theoretical Scrabble game where every single play had to be a bingo and the game had to end in a tie. The challenge got a huge amount of traction, which was absolutely awesome to see, and in the original challenge, which used the American NWL dictionary, a pair of constructors, Amaranth and lovemathboy, won the challenge, constructing an epic game that ended in a tie at 1,210 points apiece. Recently, I received a submission from another viewer that had a 1225 to 1225 tie, but used the International or CSW dictionary. Amazingly, that game used a completely different style of layout involving multiple 15-letter words. So that was really cool to see, but it begged the question, how much higher could you possibly go using the International dictionary, which has a lot more words than the American dictionary? Well, guys, here we go. Our two favorite constructors, Amaranth and lovemathboy, got back to work and they have successfully beaten it once again. Here I present to you the now highest known theoretical tie game with every play being a bingo in the CSW dictionary. So here we go. Amaranth, of course, no big surprise, opens the game with a bingo, finding the CSW only Ordinar, which he plays here for 68 points. Notably, a very aggressive placement, stopping one before the triple word score. lovemathboy with this rack responds with a bingo of his own, the highest scoring one available, Revolute from the second R in Ordinar for 88 points. Amaranth has a variety of bingos available here, but ends up going with another CSW only bingo, Heliodor, to the first R in Ordinar for 63 points. lovemathboy has another very promising rack and does bingo. The highest scoring bingos would be to hook Ordinar to Ordinars and use that triple with something like Refines for 119, but lovemathboy elects to keep the board more open, playing Finiers, yet another CSW only bingo for 81 points, retaking the lead for now. But Amaranth is not to be outdone, doubling with his highest scoring available bingo of Fist Note through the N that lovemathboy just opened in Finiers. So Amaranth is now up 225 to 169. But this lead, as all the other leads in this game have been, is going to be short-lived, because with this rack, despite having an H, a W, and a Y, as well as a pair of A's on his rack, lovemathboy finds the bingo of Hereaway, which he plays through the E in Heliodors for 88 points, blocking the triple line through the H, or at least so it would seem. Amaranth with this rack makes quite a play. And you might be thinking, how is he going to bingo here? There are no 7s with this rack, and it turns out there aren't even any 8s or 9s. So Amaranth is going to need at least a 10-letter word here to bingo with these tiles, and where is he going to do that? Well, look at the middle of the board. Remember where Amaranth played Ordinar before, won before a triple word score? He capitalizes here in amazing fashion with the very ironic play of Unextraordinary through the disconnected T and Ordinar, making 4 two-letter overlaps, EF, XI, RE, and AE, for 382 points on a single play. Dare I say, a very extraordinary play, certainly not an unextraordinary play, perhaps the most anti-self-descriptive play we've ever seen in Scrabble history. And lovemathboy, now, despite being down 350 points, is not going to go down without a fight. Finding a wild 6-way overlap through the XI on the 4th row with the CSW only cetuximab for 149 points. Now, as amazing as this play is, the unfortunate news for lovemathboy is he's still down over 200, with Amaranth now on turn holding a 607 to 406 lead. And Amaranth is going to compound that lead by, of course, bingoing yet again. This time with Individual through the U in Unextraordinary, giving lovemathboy seemingly a little bit of a reprieve, scoring only 64, a far cry from the 382 he scored on the previous turn. And lovemathboy here turns the tables once again. With a seemingly very bingo unfriendly rack containing 3 I's, 2 N's, and a Z, lovemathboy nevertheless bingos. And no, he doesn't bingo with the fairly straightforward ionizing for 86 through the first O in Heliodors. That would not be a bad play, but he does a lot better. More like 324 points better. He plays the second 15-letter bingo of the game, individualizing through Amaranth's last play of Dividual for a whopping 410 points. And just like that, lovemathboy is back in the lead, and a big lead at that, 816 to 671. So now, all of a sudden, despite just being up over 300 points, Amaranth finds himself down by 145, reckoning with this rack. Despite this rack not looking very good for bingoing, Amaranth actually has 2 available bingos here, one of which is Longboat through the N in Unextraordinary, but the higher scoring one, which he finds and plays, being Obligato through the I, which hits a double-double, scoring 94. But lovemathboy is still ahead, and with a very promising rack here, no surprise, is going to bingo yet again. The most obvious bingo would be Meanest, hooking an S onto Obligatos, but lovemathboy does better. He finds yet another 6-way overlap, this time an 8-letter bingo through the L in Heliodors, Talesmen, scoring 97 points, and so it would seem even further obstructing Amaranth's chances of using the triple word scores on the left for a large play. However, instead of obstructing the triple word scores, lovemathboy actually helps Amaranth, because with this rack here, a seemingly terrible rack for bingoing, ACIJKPW, Amaranth does the unthinkable. We've seen 2 15-letter bingos, one of which scored nearly 400 points and one of which scored over 400 points. Amaranth here scores more than either of these 2 15-letter bingos, with the astonishing 7 overlap triple-triple, including 6 3-letter overlaps, the CSW only Whipjack for 476 points, making Wah, Ire, Pez, Jam, Aw, Can, and finally the CSW only 2 of KY, which, being from Kentucky, I am personally very fond of. So surely that's going to put the game out of reach, right? Because that brings Amaranth now to 1,241 points. And lovemathboy now, to make matters worse, has drawn CGQ out of the bag while facing a mammoth-sized 328-point deficit with the bag empty. So if lovemathboy is going to make a heroic comeback, it needs to be right now. Amaranth, as you can see, has only 2 tiles, just an O and a P, so Amaranth is going to play out on his next turn. If he gets a next turn, because if lovemathboy has his way, Amaranth will not be getting another turn. And indeed, lovemathboy does get his way because he finds the triple-triple out bingo of Grex, yet another CSW only word, for 320 points, getting his cue on that double letter score. Is it going to be enough? That brings lovemathboy to 1233. This is an outplay, so lovemathboy is going to get twice the value of Amaranth's unplayed tiles. In other words, he's going to get 2 times 4, which is another 8 points. So you guys guessed it. The final score is going to end up being Amaranth, 1241, lovemathboy, 1241. So there you have it, guys. That right there is, at this point, the highest scoring known CSW tie where every single play is a bingo. Dare I say, very much not unextraordinary stuff. I know these guys have spent many hours trying to perfect this construction, so major kudos and thank you to both of them for taking the time to do that. And with that in mind, I will be very impressed if anybody is able to beat this, but I will promise that if anybody can construct a game using these parameters, once again, CSW dictionary, every play has to be a bingo, and the game has to end in a tie. If anyone can construct such a game that ends with a final score higher than 1241 to 1241, I will promise to quickly and gladly make a video on it. So the challenge is back on, guys. Can you beat this? But don't go anywhere yet, because before I end this video, I have a fun additional bonus challenge to show you guys. At some point while working on the main challenge, lovemathboy couldn't help but wonder what would happen if we removed the constraint that the game had to end in a tie. So we keep the CSW dictionary and the constraint that every play has to be a bingo, but that's it. What is the theoretical highest possible combined score under these circumstances? So the previous game I showed you guys ended 1241 to 1241 for a combined score of 2482. Could lovemathboy do better without the tie requirement? The answer, as I'm about to show you guys, was a resounding yes. And how many points total did he score? Well, let's see. Amaranth was first again this game and opened with coverts for 80 points. Lovemathboy here, with a fairly clunky rack, finds his only playable bingo of habitude to the E in coverts for 78. And Amaranth finds a very stylish bingo here. There is only one available, and it is a 7-way overlap to the art in coverts, playing Emanator, making 7 valid 2-letter words. Pretty cool stuff. At this point, every single word on the board is valid in the American dictionary, in addition to the international dictionary. That would change with lovemathboy's next play, yet another 7-way overlap of naggiest, which does make a couple of CSW only 3s, ing, and tie. Amaranth here makes the first truly astounding play of the game. Through the ing on the board, Amaranth finds his only playable bingo of Kingfisher for a whopping 150 points. Absolutely amazing stuff. And lovemathboy here, with a seemingly clunky rack, 5 vowels, all 1-pointers, actually has 2 available bingos. One of which would be Aureoles through the R in Kingfisher, but he opts for the slightly higher scoring Alehouse through the H for 72. However, Amaranth still has a lead here because Kingfisher scored so many points. And he would build on this lead by playing yet another only available bingo, this time from the O in coverts, Olefinic for 78 points, blowing open the right-hand side of the board. Lovemathboy here, with a seemingly pretty good rack for bingoing, actually only has 1 bingo available, and he finds it Operator through the R in Kingfisher. So lovemathboy still down about 80 or 90 points, but hanging in there as best as he can. However, he's not going to be hanging in there for very long, because with this rack, despite having both the J and the Q, and there being very, very few words that have both a J and a Q in them, Amaranth finds Jacquard through the C in Olefinic, covering 2 triple word scores for a massive 383 points, bringing his lead to 470. And to make matters worse, lovemathboy does not draw any good scoring tiles here. But he does at least have 1 available bingo, and it's yet another 7-way overlap. This time, the CSW only Tarsioid through the S in Kingfisher, making 7 more 2-letter words, a few of which are also CSW only, for 82. So another bingo for lovemathboy. He has bingoed every turn this game. He is doing his best, but he is still down nearly 400 points. And why don't we make that over 500? Because on this rack, Amaranth bingos again. And with yet another 7-way overlap. This time, the very stylish Newsmen under Operator, making 6 2-letter words, as well as Kingfishers for 125, taking a 513-point lead. Lovemathboy, with this rack, plays yet another only available bingo, this time the 7-letter word Godlily for 105 on the bottom triple. But he's still down over 400. And this right here, guys, is the pivotal moment of the game. Amaranth's highest scoring play is not a bingo. It is the non-bingo triple-triple of Xanthine through the hand on the board for 162 points, which is certainly tough to see. And instead of doing that, Amaranth bingos with his highest scoring available bingo of zerantic, another CSW only word to the C in coverts, for 86 points. And after this, it really doesn't seem like anything could go wrong. This will put Amaranth at 1,000 points, nearly 500 above lovemathboy. And if you look at the tiles unseen to Amaranth, BEOPUVWYZ, it sure doesn't look very conducive to lovemathboy bingoing on his next turn. So zerantic might score a lot less than Xanthine, but surely it'll still win the game for Amaranth, right? Welp, actually, as crazy as it sounds, zerantic is literally the worst possible play Amaranth could make in this position. Because if he draws precisely VW out of the bag, which is not that likely, but it's possible, the odds of that happening for what it's worth would be 1 in 36, because with 2 in the bag, Amaranth is drawing 2 tiles out of 9 unseen. There is one way to draw VW, and 9 choose 2 or 36 possible draws. So with 1 in 36 probability, disaster will strike after zerantic. And as you guys will see why, there is no other play that would allow disaster to strike. Xanthine would not, something like Xenia on the bottom burning the blank for 86 would not, heck, something absolutely silly looking. Playing the word it with a blank T here for 2 points wins 100% of the time for Amaranth. Literally anything other than zerantic, which is just wild. But Amaranth falls for it. He plays zerantic and draws the dreaded VW combo out of the bag. So I've been talking about how this is going to end in disaster. Why is this going to end in disaster? Well, pause the video, see if you can figure it out. If you figured it out, well done. If you didn't, here you go. lovemathboy, in this position, scores 1,508 points with a single play. The quadruply disconnected triple 27 timer of oxyphenbutazone through an X, a hen, a ta, and an on, all the way down the A column. He gets the P and the Z on double underscores, the O, the B, and the E on triple word scores, and scores 1,508 points once again with a single play. And that brings him to a whopping 2014. Just to add insult to injury, he gets 16 more from Amaranth's unplayed VW. So he goes in a single turn from down about 500 to winning the game by over 1,000, with a nice round final score of lovemathboy 2,030, Amaranth 1,000, for a combined score of 3,030 points. Just absolutely crazy, crazy impressive stuff. So once again, this was the highest combined scoring known CSW game where every single play has to be a bingo. And as before, I'll pose the challenge to the viewers. Can you beat lovemathboy's construction here? If so, please send it my way, and I will gladly make it known to the world as best as I can, given the audience I have with my YouTube channel. So that's about it for this video, guys. Once again, huge congratulations and thank you to Amaranth and lovemathboy on these constructions. Absolutely amazing stuff. I love seeing the work these guys put into it and seeing the output of all of their labor. Absolutely awesome. So I really hope they keep it up and come up with even more of these amazing grids for us to marvel at, and maybe if we dare try to beat. Like I said, if you guys can beat them in either of these challenges, definitely let me know and I will gladly feature it in another video. But that's it for now, so really, really hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, major shout out to Amaranth and lovemathboy. Really appreciate all of their work and all of their support on my channel. Can't thank them enough, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon at the next video. Bye-bye.